Hello, subscribers! This is episode 2 out of 15, reviewing In the Beginning, the Bible stories. A Japanese anime about the Bible, or at least certain stories about the Bible, or in the Bible. This episode was all about Cain and Abel, and the first thing you notice in it is that Adam finally gets to speak like a proper, intelligent person. And the second thing you'll notice is there is actually an advantage to paraphrasing. The Bible, after all, does not give a whole lot of details, so some details you just have to infer, and this is where the paraphrasing can actually come in handy.
God gave Adam and Eve many children. Their first son was named Cain, and he was a tiller of the soil. His younger brother, Abel, became a shepherd. Their younger brothers and sisters constantly tried to help their older brothers and their mother and father.
So the paraphrasing sets up nicely the fact that there were other children around. You really don't think about the whole family being there when you just read Genesis. If you're only reading Genesis, all you really think about is Cain and Abel being the only two around. Another good advantage of this way of storytelling is it sets up Cain's animosity to Abel quite well.
Cain? Why are you putting the fruit away like that?
The crops that I raise are mine, aren't they? I raise them with my own sweat.
But you eat the mutton your brother Abel worked so hard to raise, don't you?
Oh? Well, where would Abel be without me? I'm the one that taught him how to raise sheep.
Of course, it does bring up the question, why isn't Cain raising sheep if he taught Abel? That, of course, is not in the Bible. We don't know that Cain taught Abel anything. But it does at least help set up Cain's character so he's not just angry out of nowhere. Another surprising effect is this proper view of sacrifice they somehow seemingly stumbled upon.
Thank you, Father.
You must thank the Lord.
I will sacrifice that lamb to him. I raised him better than all the rest.
That is a biblical view of proper sacrifice, which you don't actually get from that particular story. All we really know just from reading about Cain and Abel is that Abel's sacrifice was better than Cain's. We don't get any information that Abel was using the best of his flock. So it could have easily been for somebody who is not actually familiar with the Bible, they could have thought that God only cared about sheep, not the quality of the sheep. Or that God only cared about what kind of sacrifice it was, not the quality of the kind of sacrifice. But quality does play a role, and you don't actually get that from reading just Cain and Abel. So I'm surprised they got a correct understanding of that. However,
Cain, the Lord is not pleased with your offering. You have hate in your heart. If you do not rid yourself of this hate, God will not accept your offering.
nowhere in Genesis does it say anything about hate in your heart being why God rejected Cain's offering. They could have just left that scene as his wheat being blown away and an altar falling down. That would have been enough. They didn't even need any words there. But they actually lessen the scene when they try to explain why Cain's offering was rejected. Hate in his heart was not the reason. Well, I suppose it's possible hate in his heart was the reason, but still. Next, we have another issue with the paraphrasing going a little off the rails.
If I am to be a homeless wanderer, then anyone who finds me can kill me.
No. If anyone should kill you, 7 lives will be taken in revenge.
God did not say 7 lives would be taken in revenge. Only that vengeance should be taken on the person who slew Cain, 7-fold. That does not mean 7 people will die, necessarily. It could just be that their death would be 7 times worse. And then we have the mark of Cain.
I shall put a mark on you to warn anyone who meets you.
She is the one named Sailor Moon.
Why would they use a crescent moon? They could have used the Star of David or a cross, either of which would have made sense. I get that Genesis doesn't specify what the mark actually is, but there are options. So the end of this episode brings up a question that would not normally come up, or should not normally come up, if you were only reading the Bible, and that is where Cain got his wife. In the Bible, it's obvious. He just married his sister, got his wife from the same place he got his brother. But this anime has him walking off alone as a vagabond, seemingly leaving his entire family behind, which begs the question of who he could possibly have married if he was never to see his family again. But of course, we all know he would have married his sister, although I did praise this anime earlier for making the family seem bigger than just Cain and Abel. They still made it seem kind of small for a family that has to populate the whole earth, specifically with Cain going off and marrying his sister somewhere. So the episode ends with Sailor Cain walking off into the wilderness as a vagabond to go off fighting evil by moonlight and winning love by daylight. Join me next time to find out about how Noah became a time wizard. See you then.